Alright, so this is a video that's been a long time coming, that most of you have been asking me to address for, well, years now. The reason why I haven't is because giving people who hate you attention is exactly what they want. However, with Smash 4 coming to an end, which basically jump-started my entire YouTube career, and Smash Ultimate around the corner, and not to mention all of the hate messages I've been receiving over the Yatica video, apparently people thought I monetized it, or people think that I'm just trying to take advantage of the situation, etc., etc. I finally feel like this is an appropriate time to voice all of that out and just put it in the air. So yeah, let's talk about it. Basically what happened is when I started YouTube, I was basically this happy-go-lucky guy. You know, I was advocating peace. I was smiling all that bullshit. I was all like happy-go-lucky and all positive energy. You know, I was like on top of cloud 9 in the beginning of YouTube. That's usually how it is for people who start YouTube. There's this honeymoon phase when you first get into it. But as I started to see some success on my channel, mean people just started to swarm in like out of nowhere. Omni, you're bald. Omni, you're cancer. Omni, you're not funny. Omni, kill yourself. It was ridiculous. So I made the first mistake that everyone makes when somebody voices out on the internet that they hate you. I asked why. Why do you hate me? Why don't you like me? What did I do wrong? What can I do better? Which is a terrible stance to take in this place, but I'll explain later. And the responses were either A, holy shit, I didn't think you'd respond. I love your content. Or B, it'd be some keyboard warrior who would write an entire essay breaking down one of my videos and telling me why my video content is ass and why I myself am a shit person. So as you can guess, that kind of made me feel sad. But I didn't want to feel sad. So I did what most people do to respond and deal with said hate. I said, fuck it. I pulled an Eminem and I gave the middle finger to everybody who disliked me. On top of that, I became this edgelord. I became arrogant. I became rude. I put on this armor to protect myself from the hate so that I could sustain myself on this platform. Which, good news, worked for the currently existing hate that I was receiving. However, bad news, it didn't really work so much for, you know, people who are newer to my channel, you know, coming in and seeing this guy and be like, why is this guy just angry all the time? Like, why is he just always being an asshole? Like, where did that come from, you know? So it was kind of like a catch-22. And yeah, that's basically what happened in a nutshell. Now, there were a few videos that specifically triggered the hate. Like, they were big ones that basically incited the hate within the Smash community, so I'll just go over those two really fast. The first one was why Smash 4 will die. And oh my god, I watched that video recently and I cringe every single time. That video was so cringy. I was such a tryhard back then. If you didn't watch the video, I'm basically calling out the Smash 4 community for being really toxic when the game first came out. Me included too. Whenever I talk about the Smash community, I never talk about it from like an outsider perspective. I always talk about it with me being a part of the community. And I was harsh. And I said what was on my mind. I sprinkled terrible bits of humor that is very unforgettable just, you know, in between to kind of lighten the mode, but I think it just pissed people further. Not to mention the clickbait title, which was part of the edge, you know, edgelord scheme that I was putting up, the facade. So yeah, this video was a double-edged sword because it created a lot of people who hated me. I was talking out against the community. I had this clickbait. I was being an asshole. I was being arrogant, and yet at the same time, it created this newfound group of people who really just liked the fact that I had the courage to voice my set opinion that they agreed with on the internet and with the confidence that I had. So yeah, that's the first video. The second video was a doozy. I made this video that was called the Melee Community Rant, where I basically come off as a condescending butthole parent expressing my disdain for the Melee community because the way that they were treating the Smash 4 community was kind of crappy. Which is true. When Smash 4 came out, there was a very strong and large vocal majority of people out there that were just, you know, being buttholes about Smash 4 existing and, you know, being kind of like elitist pricks. And since I've been in the community for a really long time, I came from Melee and I was also playing Smash 4. I felt like it was kind of my responsibility because I just had a, you know, newfound platform to speak with people, to talk to the Melee community and say, hey, stop being such a butt. Me personally, like, I don't really care if you hate things, but if your hatred for something is causing like grief or stress or isolation, you know, within a community that I'm a part of, then yeah, you need to take that shit elsewhere because that's not acceptable. Anyways, as you can imagine, you know, that didn't go over well. Telling people that they're jerks and they need to stop is not something that works that well on the internet. And funny enough, after I made that video, this was during the time where Smash 4 and Melee and esports was booming. I actually lost a lot of friends that used to talk with me that were a part of my circle kind of distanced themselves, the Melee ones in specific. And I was like, wow, okay. That's what's going to happen here. All right, whatever. Like suddenly I became a traitor of the community, because if you weren't Melee, then you were Smash 4. There was no way that you were a hybrid of the two. You couldn't like both things. You had to either love Melee and hate Smash 4, or love Smash 4 and hate Melee. It was a terrible time. Also, you can imagine that Melee Hell had a field day using my head to meme me in the most creative ways possible. Yeah, those were the two big boy videos. I also spilled that persona over into my social media, specifically Twitter, where I kind of was just inciting I was just pouring myself into drama, and it didn't always turn out well. Which sucks, because, you know, I love the Smash community. At one point it was so bad, I went to a tournament. I didn't go to a lot of tournaments because I was busy, I was working. That's why I started making videos, to be a part of the community. I went to a tournament for the first time in a while, and while I was playing matches, I had like a group of people just behind me while I was playing Melee just talking shit. Like not even like regular like shit talk, like yo, fuck Omni kind of stuff. Like screw this guy, he's a Smash 4. You know, like it was hateful. And I was like, damn, I never really experienced that in person. I was used to it out of person, but not really in person. Regardless, in that time period, I made two videos talking about how to deal with hate. One of them was how to not give a shit, and another video was how to deal with a toxic gaming community. Those are really, really good videos in my opinion. Like I don't like boasting my videos up, but those are two of them that I'm very proud of making. So if you have some time, you should watch those. And yeah, that's the gist of it. That's the summary. Okay, so where am I now? Upon reflection, what is the synopsis? What do I think of everything looking back? In hindsight, I screwed up in two areas. The first one was caring too much about what people thought about me and wanting people to like me too much. While it is really nice to be liked by people, when you're giving your opinion on the internet, you are just essentially creating a zone, a group of people who will not only disagree with your opinion, but hate you for it. It comes with the territory, and it's a pretty hard pill to swallow when you're first being introduced to it. Like anybody who's a YouTuber or even any kind of content creator is familiar with this feeling. But yeah, instead of trying to be so likable all the time, I feel like it's just better to kind of just be yourself and just, you know, find people who like you for who you are. If the person that you are is just a terrible person, then maybe you need to do some self-reflection there. But if you're just a decent, regular human being, I don't think it's a good idea to try so hard to be somebody that you're not just so that people like you. My second screw up was letting people's hatred get to me. Except this one I feel like is unavoidable. It's a screw up, but I feel like you kind of got to go through the process in order for you to learn how to deal with it. But yeah, I let it affect my mood too much. It affected my creative process. It affected how often I uploaded what I wanted to upload. But the worst part that it affected was that I started ignoring the 90% of you guys that were out there who supported my platform, who loved me. I just could not see you because I could only see the hate. Like that's the worst part. I got all of these guys that are like, hey, yo, keep up the good work. Hey, I love your stuff, leaving likes and all of that jazz. And yet this one person out of 10 people, I'll be focused on this one guy, even though these 9 people are like, yo, keep doing you. And that sucks. I feel a lot of people understand what I'm talking about with that. But for some reason, negativity is just very loud in our brains. And it just works that way. For the Smash community in general, I like to say, first of all, thank you for existing and being a place that I call home for all of these years. We all fight. There's so much drama within the Smash community, and we fight so much. But yet at the same time, I take a lot of pride in being a part of the community, and I'm proud of what it has grown and become. So thanks for that. As long as this family and this community exists, I really do hope that most of you guys will look at me as a member of it. With that said, I still feel like that a lot of us can just be buttholes. Like guys, like there's something in this community. I can't put my finger on it. And I feel like a lot of it comes from Smash 4 and Melee, but I to be honest, I do feel like there's a very stronger source within the Melee community where there's just a lot of toxic and just meanness and just negativity and the sense of elitism that, you know, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's not cool. It's a very, very negative vibe. And it's also contagious. I know a lot of times I single out the Melee community, but I kind of hold them to a higher standard because the majority of that community is much older. There are more older people in there, and the game it predates Smash 4. There's a lot of new hits in Smash 4 and in Ultimate. So I kind of, you know, look at them as an elder in this situation. Respect your elders. Yeah, I know. At the same time, I realize everywhere else on the internet is pretty toxic too. So it's not like this is unique to anything else. There's no perfect community. So, it is what it is. So yeah, let me just conclude with this. If you're dealing with any kind of hate or negativity in any other realm that exists in this world, then this is my up-to-date thought process on the best way to handle it. Unfortunately, and a lot of you aren't going to like this, but the TLDR of it is that you just have to accept it. It doesn't matter if you're Obama. It doesn't matter if you're Gandhi. It doesn't matter if you're Martin Luther King Jr. You could literally be some freaking dude who wakes up every morning and just gives out free money to anybody that they see. You're just the free money man. And somebody out there will find a reason to hate you. So once you accept and just receive that this is just going to be a part of life, then it just boils down to how you respond to it. If you respond to hate with your own hatred, it's not going to work out that well for you. Hate breeds hate. You don't want to get stuck in that never-ending loop of just hatred. If you're responding to hate with sadness, I understand. I understand why it hurts your feeling, but you need to remember that you don't need to be held accountable to anyone's standard of who they think that you should be. You are completely fine as you are. If you don't take anything else from this video, that is probably the number one thing that I want you guys to know. Then there's responding to hatred by not giving a fuck, which I think is very, very effective. However, you do end up creating this persona that wasn't originally there just to kind of shield yourself off from certain people. So technically, it's a little bit of a lie. You do care. You kind of do give some fucks because you're trying hard to show that you don't. You know what I mean? You're kind of shaping your way in a way that you weren't naturally, just so that you can deal with the things that are coming in. So that one's kind of like I don't know. So I'm gonna just say it. You know what's coming. It's cheesy. I know it. It's cliche, but it's true. You gotta fight hatred with love. Here's why. I ain't even trying to get sappy or none of that stuff. But here's why responding to people who hate you with love works. There's two scenarios that play out. Scenario number one, they just keep hating you. There's nothing you can do about it, okay? They just keep hating you. It is what it is. Scenario number two, they stop hating you. Because love tends to be the thing that breaks the cycle of hate. I know that this sounds familiar because this is the premise of Naruto, but hear me out. It's true. I'm not naive, okay? I know that there are just bad, evil, just mean people in this world for no reason, for whatever. They're just terrible people. They just exist in this world, and there's no point trying to help these guys. But at the same time, I do feel like there is a very high correlation between people who are just, buttholes and the lack of love that they've received over their lifetime. For me, I was fortunate. My mom was very loving, and that's why I have so much to offer and give, but other people aren't so lucky, and sometimes that lack of receiving that kind of affection can kind of turn people into being assholes. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm not saying that it can't work the other way around. I'm just saying that there's a correlation. Now, if you're one of the people who hate me and you're watching this video right now, I'm surprised that you've made it this far. I'm surprised you just didn't leave a comment and say screw you and didn't watch the video or something like that. But if you don't like me for whatever reason, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I know that I have done some things that might have incited that dislike, and if I truly made you feel bad, you just did not feel good about yourself based on the things that I said, then truly in that case, I'm sorry. I know sometimes I could have worded things better. I know that there was sometimes I could have said things with a little bit more tact, with more grace at the time. With that said, I meant everything that I have said over these years, and I don't take back any of the opinions that I made. I stand by them very firmly. So if you just don't like my opinions, then it is what it is, bro. It just agree to disagree. That's why at the end of almost all my videos, I say I love you guys. It's not to pander you guys. It's to basically let you guys know that whatever I say in the content afterwards, it's all coming from a place of love, okay? So that's the point of that message that I've always been spreading. Anyway, that's it. That's everything. In my opinion, life is just too goddamn short to be wasting our time on bad energy. Life is hard enough as it is too. There's negativity all over the place. And I just feel like just in general, life is just so much more fun when you're having fun and you're enjoying things, that's where I want to put my energy towards. And that's where I feel like you guys should try to put your energy towards as well. I don't want any bad blood, okay? Because it's not worth it. But that is it, okay? You guys can stop asking. If you watch the entirety of this video, I very greatly appreciate it, but it has now been put to bed. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm kind of like in this new mode when it comes to YouTube. It's a new thing that I'm doing. I'll explain it later in a future video, but I like it. I kind of like the kind of content that I'm making. And if you like it, then I urge you to subscribe if you haven't already. Yes, this is me pandering. This is a pander. I told myself that I wouldn't say this, but I do want to hit 100,000 subscribers at the end of this year. I do. I don't like making goals and then not achieving them, but at the same time, I don't like not trying. So I'm going to get over the fear of failure and then attempt to put my courage of trying first. So there's that. Anyway, this is Omni signing out. I love you guys. Have an awesome